Hello, guys, and welcome to the Stardom Cast, your weekly audio source of all things World Wonder Ring Stardom. I'm your host, Rob Goodwin, and I am joined by a very festive-feeling Matt Turner. Matt Turner, how the devil are you, good sir, as we are approaching that Christmas feeling?
Excellent, my man. Excellent. I have one more workday left of the year, and then I am off until the 8th of January. So I am terrific, my man. I'm excited for this nice little episode that we're going to do. And Rob Goodwin, for the second week in a row, news dropped before we recorded. It's like finding like 2 4-leaf clovers in a field of unicorns, buddy. I mean, just really the rarest of rarities. I think there's only one way to really start this podcast off, then Rob Goodwin, then with a funny story. Would you like to hear a funny story, Rob?
Always, my friend.
I figured since this will be the last time myself and you are recording from our respective studios until we take that flight over to Japan, no better way to start off with than with a funny story. So as you know, later on today, I'll be recording on Talk Joshi with Tokyo Joshi Pod's own Andy Zyke, as we're going to be doing a preview and prediction.
The legend that is.
That's a very nice, dapper individual. So
yes.
The last week or so, we were just kind of hammering out times when we can record. And he said, we came across a date. He's like, hey, here's my phone number just in case you need it if it makes things easier. I was like, all right, no problem. Now, Rob, I never emailed him my phone number. So I was like, I'm going to have a little fun. I'm going to have a little fun ski.
You horrible person.
I'm going to have a little fun ski. So I send him a text. Now, he doesn't know it's me because at this point, he doesn't have my phone number. And I was like, hey, is this Andy from the Tokyo Joshi Pod? No, I'm paraphrasing. He said, yes, it is. I said, yeah. I said, I'm just taking a survey from all podcasters. Is it true that Matt Turner and Rob Goodwin are the 2 best-looking podcasters in all the land? And his response was the perfect response. Absolutely. They are number 1. So had to have a little fun, buddy. Had to have a little. That's what life's all about, having fun.
Absolutely. And I'm looking forward to hearing that preview with Tokyo Joshi Pod Andy Zyke. If you haven't already, go and check out the podcast. It is a tremendous listen, very, very detailed, and he's got great knowledge of it as well. So if you are looking to get into Tokyo Joshi Pro, then definitely check out the podcast and definitely check out Talk Joshi this week with Andy Squared and Matt Turner as they go through the 4th of January show that we will be at, Matt Turner, in Korakuen Hall, which is very, very exciting. Now, obviously, today's episode is a little bit different. We're not doing a review show or anything like that. What we are going to do is we're basically just going to build our own excitement by previewing sort of what the plan is currently in terms of shows that we're going to in Japan when we go. Some of these might change. Some of these we've sort of mentioned about possibly going to, and we might not. There are a couple of concrete ones. Obviously, the concrete ones being Dream Queendom, TJPW, Wrestle Kingdom 20, and 99% Marigold's first dream on the 3rd of January. Matt, isn't that right?
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff on task. Now, we do have tickets for the Tokyo Joshi Pro Show on January 4th, as well as the sold-out Wrestle Kingdom, as well as the Dream Queendom card, which I believe all but one section is sold out, which is a week away as of this recording. So, and then, obviously, we will be on hand one way or another for that show on an Ode Award for Marigold First Dream. More than likely, the New Year's Eve show for Marigold as well, which they did announce the rookie tournament, and I think it'll be a buzzsaw of a win for one Sarah Yamaoka, as we mentioned.
Whoa, you little faith. Let's calm down a little bit here. Let's calm down. Unless you are Team Megaton, I don't want to hear your negativity.
I'm somewhat of a realist, Rob Goodwin. Can you imagine Megaton losing 40-some matches in a row and then she wins the rookie tournament?
Yeah, so imagine if that's the story and we're there for it.
Great. Oh my God, Rob. Now that makes sense. Oh my God, I think Megaton is winning. You just talked me into it. What a salesman.
I've just talked you into it, bro. That's how good I am. Maybe I'm wasted not being in sales. But yes, obviously, there have been a couple of things that have dropped which have really helped us out in terms of, obviously, the full Dream Queendom card has been announced literally this morning, which is fantastic news. Marigold dropping that the Rookie of the Year tournament will be returning for a second year. And yeah, a lot of cards are now completely fleshed out. So it's going to be good to go through some of those. Now, just to clarify, Matt, we both fly out on the 27th of December, don't we?
Yeah, I fly out, I think, first thing in the morning on the 27th, in between the long flight and the 14-hour time zone difference between Japan and EST. I think we arrive at 4 or 5 o'clock on the 28th. So the 27th, Rob, will be nothing but a memory for me, which is actually the anniversary of the Bill Goldberg losing the streak. So I guess, how about that? It was December 27th, 1998. Kevin Nash defeated Bill Goldberg at Starrcade. So look, there you go. That for some reason that day is, I think I had my semi-formal dance in high school. I think that's why. I think I remember coming home and then watching the Goldberg versus Kevin Nash match. But anywho, Rob Goodwin, yes, I will be in the air December 27th, and then landing about 25 hours before Dream Queendom.
Yeah, so I take off at 6 in the morning British Standard Time on the 27th. I think I land in Japan at about 11:45 in the morning of the 27th. We did have someone who commented on YouTube saying you should go to the Marvelous show. Trust me, we would if we could, but there's no way we are doing anything on the 28th whatsoever. Both of us will be dead, so the chances are we'll be sort of maybe mooching around outside our hotel and sort of getting the lay of the land. But in terms of wrestling shows, I'm afraid that is pretty much a no-go. I don't even know if I'm allowed to check into my hotel yet. So I might just be wandering around Shinjuku with my luggage.
Yeah, like aimlessly, you see Rob Goodwin walking around with 2 big luggage bags, and be like, "Do you need a hand, sir?" I'm sure they can probably let you put it somewhere in like a storage facility.
I'm sure they will.
Most hotels do. So, yeah, that's gonna be it's gonna be exciting. I've never in my life had jet lag before, so I don't know what that's like. I don't know if I'm going to have it. I do plan on going back to. I think we get home sometime late on the 7th, and I plan on going to work the next day. And even Amber's like, "You're gonna be jet lagged." I'm like, I don't know what that is, but at the same time, I've never had a super long flight before, so I don't know. I'm excited. I'm going to see if I can conquer it, buddy. I am up for the challenge, good sir. If it's a physical and mental challenge, I'm going to see if I can physically and mentally break through, my man. So I'm going to find out. Going to find out. Going to find out, good sir.
Do you have a layover, or are you just direct from Philly?
No, right from Newark. There's actually direct flights from Newark, New Jersey, which is about the same distance from Philly from us. The original idea was we were going to go from Philly to Toronto and then Toronto to Tokyo. But there's no layovers, and I think Amber found the flight cheaper because it's only one flight. So we were just driving to Newark, parking the car, taking the shuttle, and then off to the airport we go, and it's a straight shot right from Newark to Tokyo. How about you, good sir?
How long's that flight?
Is it 13 hours, 14 hours?
That's not too bad then. Yeah. So going there, I've got just under a 2-hour flight. I land in Germany, and then it's from Germany through to Tokyo, which I believe is a 12.5-hour flight.
Rob, I actually want to read an email I got today, buddy. And this is going to impress. This will impress some of our listeners, but definitely you.
Oh, okay.
Definitely you. Hold on one second. I saw this and I was like, I'm going to have to read this. Order to be delivered today. DVD Jurassic Park. So yes, there it is. And I think this is the original. It's just Jurassic Park. I think I got the right one. I was like $3 on eBay. So
oh yeah, it'll be the right one. It'll be the right one. And obviously we will need a full breakdown on Patreon as well, like a scene by scene breakdown from Matt Turner. Yeah, so it's from Frankfurt, Germany through to Japan, I believe is 12 and a bit hours. So yeah, gonna be interesting, my friend. But obviously the day after, the 29th, our first wrestling show, it is of course the big one for us as Stardom fans. It's Dream Queendom at Ryogoku Korakuen. And a lot of this for us as well, it's not just the shows that we're going to, it's also the venues that we are going to, and we're going to talk a little bit about that on New Year's Day as well, where we're going to a show where we have no real sort of stake in watching the show at all, but just being in Budokan is something that we are very, very excited about. But yeah, Stardom actually announced the full card for Dream Queendom this morning. Yesterday on the 21st at the Osaka show, Starlight Kid did come out and say that she would be returning to action on the Dream Queendom show, which sort of explains why they've held off the announcements for the remainder of the card. I'll just quickly read through this card, man, and we can sort of talk about what matches of the ones that have been announced anyway we're looking forward to. We already knew, obviously, that Saya Kamatani versus Soriano for the World of Stardom Championship had been announced. Wonder of Stardom Championship between Konami and Sayarida. Natsupoi and Suri in a singles match, which is just going to be absolutely tremendous. Suri, by the way, absolutely ran through Riko Kawahata yesterday in Shinkiba, beat her in under a minute, I believe. Absolutely steamrolled her. So she is in top form, ready for Poi. Goddess of Stardom Championship match, BMI 2000. Tora and Ruak will be defending against Rise and Shine, Ice Core and Sayaka Kurora. Hazuki versus Fuwa-chan in a singles match. And then obviously we have got the announced matches from today. It'll be Maika, the returning Megan Bain, Xena and Hanako. They will be taking on Mavida Loca, Suzu Suzuki, Bozilla, Rina Yamashita, and Itsuki Aoki. Yes, we are getting Megan Bain and Bozilla in the same ring again. Color me excited. Starlight Kid will return to the ring, and what better way to return to the ring than a Starbomb with Azumi, and they will be taking on Karate Brave, Suri, and Tomoka Inaba. That's a very exciting matchup. We've also got a rookie tag match, Matoy Hamabe and Ann Kanai versus Emma Maishima and Kikyo Furusawa. And then we've got the return of the Stardom Rumble, and it was only when I started listing participants or people that hadn't got a match on this card that I realized just how many people Stardom haven't got on this card. Are you ready? Mei Seira, Miyu Amasaki, Waka Tsukiyama. Amisori is a big one for me. Lady C, Rina. Rina's probably the biggest name on this that they haven't found a place for on this card, which is baffling. Yuna Mizumori, Akira Kuragane, Uriah Hime, Momokogo, Koguma, Azusa Inaba, Rian, Hina, Ronnie Yagami, Saki Kashima, Fukigen Death, and I'm sure we'll get some surprises as well, perhaps the three faces of Fukigen Death, which is always nice and fun. But Matt, overall, that is the card that we have. Really exciting return tag team match for Starlight Kid. And yeah, Amisori and Rina, especially with nothing to do at Dream Queendom.
Wonder if we're going to see a Return of the Machines, Rob. We haven't seen them. It's got to be 2 years.
Maybe, yeah, absolutely.
It's got to be 2 years. Yeah, we as most of these matches were shaping up, we're like, there's going to be a lot of 8 and 10 person tag. But I kind of like. Don't get me wrong. I want Amisori and Rina and Mei Seira on the cards. But I like how there's just one big multi-person match, which you're absolutely right. We're going to get more Megan Bain versus Bozilla violence, and we're going to get the return of the feud that is Maika versus Suzu Suzuki, because they always seem to hit. So really interesting things there. But again, Rob, for me, the main thing coming off the rest of these matches that were announced is Starbomb versus Karate Brave. That is going to be absolutely fantastic. And I wouldn't be shocked if we do see because I think Starbomb's going to win there. You're not beating Shuri. I think Tomoka Inaba is going to take the fall. You're not beating Shuri before her match at the Tokyo Dome. You're not beating Starlight Kid or, on her return match. And I don't think you're beating Azumi either. So I wouldn't be shocked. And I'm actually going to go and get out on a limb and give a prediction. I'm going to say BMI 2000 retain. And then I think Starbomb wins this match. And I think Starbomb will then challenge BMI 2000 for the Goddess of Stardom Tag Team Championship.
Yeah, it will be a really, really good match, that will. I wouldn't be surprised if that opens the main card. I think we already know, I think it was announced on the official press release, that the rookie tag match will be on the pre-show. Wouldn't surprise me if the Rumble's also on the pre-show. I know that New Japan always did that for Wrestle Kingdom. And then it wouldn't surprise me if you open, Matt, you always say open with a hot opener. Starbomb versus Karate Brave. It's a pretty hot opener as openers go. This one, 5 p.m., by the way, Japanese Standard Time. Matt, obviously, we now have the full card. What match are you most looking forward to here?
I know it's the easy answer. It sounds like a cop-out, but Soriano versus Saya Kamatani. We've been getting a tease since the first quarter of this year, and they would tease it, go back, and then once Saya beat Tam and Saya was going through all the members of Cosmic Angel, Sakakura and Natsupoi, I'm like, there's only one left, and it's Soriano. now we're finally getting it. So that is the match that I am looking forward to the most. But I think Ida and Konami is going to be, right up my alley with the hard hitting stuff. That again, the tag match we just talked about, Starbomb versus Karate Brave, is going to be phenomenal because we've seen Shuri have great matches with both Azumi and Starlight Kid, and Tomoka Inaba had 2 musty matches with Starlight Kid earlier this year. One on the first night of the 5-star Grand Prix, and one for the Wonder of Stardom Championship back at the 2 of the World Show. And obviously, Azumi and Tomoka Inaba have wrestled each other in last year's 5-star Grand Prix and this year's. So that match as well. I mean, the whole card looks really, really great. But if you're asking me, which I know you just did, and my answer is simply Saya Kamatani versus Soriano for the World of Stardom Championship.
To be honest, on that card, I'm just looking forward to seeing any wrestlers I haven't already seen wrestle. Obviously, Saya Kamatani, I've been lucky enough to see wrestle a couple of times. Never as a heel, though, so that's exciting. Soriano, the same. I've never seen wrestle. Konami and Saya Rida, I've seen wrestle before, but I'm looking forward to that. But Natsupoi and Suri, that's the one for me. I cannot wait to see these 2 women just absolutely destroy each other, because no one takes a beating like Natsupoi and no one gives a beating like Suri. So yeah, that's going to be very, very exciting. And I am putting my house sort of. I've got fingers crossed because I know if Kirsty walks past and hears me saying that, she'll be like, "You give me what now?" I think we are building towards Bozilla and Megan Bayne at one of these 1-3 shows.
I agree. I'm totally with you on that one, buddy. So since we're both in agreement, do not bet your house. That means
no, absolutely not.
No, nope. it'll be Bozilla versus some other random rookie, and Megan Bayne will be on her flight back to the United States. Probably
absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know if Megan Bayne is currently scheduled to be on the World's End card for AEW, but yeah, she continues her ridiculous travel over the month of November and December. So fair play to her. The 30th of December then, and again, this is something that we've sort of talked about a little bit, but we will see the Oz Academy show at Korakuen Hall. A couple of reasons, really. We have got, as you can see on the screen, tag team destruction or total tag destruction between BMI 2000, that's Katora and Ruaka. They'll be taking on Soriano and Mayumi Ozaki with Mayuki in their corner. Interesting rules for this one, Matt. It's not just a conventional 3 count. It is also a last woman standing match. So you can pin them, but that person has got to then stay down for the count of 10. If they get up before the count of 10, completely negates the pinfall and the match continues. So again, we will see if this forces Ruaka to give the belt back that she stole. But considering the match, the elimination match at Yokohama Budokan didn't force her to, can't see this doing, Matt.
I got really excited when you said there's not a traditional 3 count. Like, are they going to bring in the King Kong Bundy 5 count? That would be fantastic. Yeah, this is something interesting. Again, this is a show I think that we might be going to. This is kind of one on the maybe, depending on how that 30th rolls out for us. I'm trying to think at the top of our heads.
There isn't anything else. There isn't anything else on the 30th. There's this at 11:20.
So we'll probably do this. This is Korakuen, right?
This will be our first time in Korakuen Hall, my friend.
Okay, and this is one that more than likely we will do, and this is we get the basically the dark version of Soriano.
We do, yes.
The Ice Queen, I think, is what they call her in Oz Academy. So yeah, this can be really interesting, Rob. Not to put you on the spot, but to put you on the spot. What's the rest of this card look like? Do you by chance know?
I've got you, buddy. I've got you. So the Oz Academy tag titles are in the main event. It is Hiroya Matsumoto and Zones. It's not Zones, I found out from Hype Talk TV. Big up Hype Talk TV. Did an interview, and it's like Amazonas or Amazones. So it's Zones or Zones. So there you go. It's not Zones, she says. They will be taking on Red Energy. There you go. Thought you might like that. Yes. I was going to say that till later. But yes, that is your main event. So I feel like we have to go now. We have also got Sari versus Sho in a singles match as well. We have got Jaguar Koto, Tsubasa Kuragaki, and Misa Kamihime versus Kiori Yoneyama, Ram Kai Chao, and Momoka Hanazono as well. Another 6-woman tag as well. Ryo Mizunami, Itsuki Aoki, and Rina Yamashita versus Unagi Sayaka, Kohaku, and Akino as well. So again, another really solid card from Oz Academy for this Korakuen Hall show. But again, there's nothing on that day. It's not like we are rushing around to get to different venues or anything like that. It'll be our first foray into Korakuen Hall. We can sort of have our oh my god moment. Really good matches, especially those final three matches if you include the Suri singles match as well, that I'm really looking forward to. And yeah, it's going to be a great show, Matt.
Yeah, there we go. Then we'll find out where that bar is. I guess everybody's meeting up at after the Tokyo Joshi Pro
The British
show.
pub, absolutely. Got to go there, British pub.
When is that date of your football game that you were talking about?
Oh, do not talk to me about football, my friend. Do not talk to me about football.
Sorry. Rob just turned heel on me. Hold on.
I'll tell you what.
I have the elixir. I got Rob all upset, and there's only one thing that anybody can do to make him feel better.
Swear to God, oh, for God's sake. I was just going to say, swear if you show me Melt here. Yeah, I've never seen a heel ref like it. Absolutely outrageous decisions. There's a saying in Britain, and it might just be in Stoke, I don't know, but the referee dropped a bollock. He really did. He bless me. That's how much of a bollock he dropped. A blatant penalty he didn't give. There was an arguable sending off as well, but yeah, I was fairly angry. Rob, we've got a game on that.
Quick question about football. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you, but I'm curious. I'm sorry, I don't mean to get you all fired up. Like, how often during the season are there football games? Like for your team, for example, like in the NFL or college, they play one game a week. Is it the same way with what we call soccer, you call football over there?
It depends. If you are one of the top teams and you are in Europe, then sort of the European competition as well, then no, you play twice a week, or twice every 10 days, or 3 times every 10 days or something. In terms of the Premier League or normal sort of domestic football, yeah, it tends to be one game every week, and it tends to run from August and through until May.
Oh, okay. We're just curious.
So there you go.
Thank you, sir. Educating the masses. Education the masses, buddy. That's what you do.
But we've got 2 games while we are out in Japan. So there's one on Boxing Day, which I will not be staying awake for because I've got to be at the airport at 2:30 in the morning. We have got literally a game on Tuesday the 30th. So the day we're talking about here, we're away at Burnley. And I know that Andy has messaged me, Andy, who we're meeting out there, and he said that he wants to go and watch that game as well. So I believe it's at 4:30. So we will see in the morning. And then we've got another one, Crystal Palace. We are playing just before the Tokyo Joshi Pro show. So maybe we'll do that as well.
They did announce earlier today, but obviously we'll talk off air and probably literally call it on the fly when we're out there. They did announce there is a meet and greet with the TJPW wrestlers after the show. I think there's like a 2 or 3 hour window. I could have that wrong, in between TJPW and the Tokyo Dome. So if that's something that we can logistically get in, that would be really, really fantastic, because I'm going to owe Andy Header a lot of great gifts, because boy, howdy, Rob, we'll talk off air. I recorded so much stuff for him to put out while I'm away, and I have a schedule doing so much more stuff.
Shoko Nakajima, so much Shoko Nakajima stuff.
Absolutely.
The TJPW show is at 11 o'clock, and the Wrestle Kingdom show doesn't start till 4. So there you go.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, we might have time.
Lots of time.
Absolutely.
Let's move on then to the 31st of December. New Year's Eve. Now, again, a lot of this is sort of stuff that we have talked about. And one of the shows that we talked about going to was the All Japan show at Yoyogi National Second Gymnasium. This has got a Kento Miyahara Triple Crown Championship defense on it. He'll be defending the belt against Yuma Anzai. We've got the All Asia Tag titles on the line in the semi-main event. And we've also got in the opener a Junior Heavyweight Championship Prelude 8-man tag match. Now, Dun Matsumoto is also on this show, as is Aja Kong. So could be worth going to that. I know, though, there is little to no heat around all Japan at the moment. I know those that watch it on any sort of regular basis have said it's a very cold promotion at the moment, but there's some interesting matches there that I'd be intrigued to see, especially that Kento Miyahara Triple Crown title defense.
Rob, is Harry Smith by chance on this card?
He is not. No, I don't think so. Anyway, just give me a second. Odyssey is from NXT. Hideki Suzuki, sorry, is on here as well.
Sweet.
No, I don't think so. We've got a New Year's Eve Rumble, which is obviously what Don Matsumoto and Aja Kong are on. But no.
What about Masahito Funaki, the guy who co-founded Pancrase with Minoru Suzuki? I know he tends to work all Japan a decent amount.
Funaki, let's have a look. No, Fuminori Abe is in the opening 8-man, which is very exciting because I'm a big fan of him. Just having a quick look for you. I don't think he is now. No, he's not.
That's disappointing. Regardless, that might be something we still might go to. But just say we went to an All Japan show. I know it's a big shout from what it was in the 90s. It's still All Japan, and Kento Miyahara is amazing.
Kento Miyahara is fantastic. And the reason I've sort of put this in is because the only other show we are going to see doesn't start till 9:20 in the evening, and this show is at 2:00. So again, I feel like it's manageable, and it's another venue to take off as well, because again, you've got Ryogoku, you've got Korakuen Hall, and this will be Yoyogi as well. And the Marigold show is in Shinjuku Face, which is a 6-minute walk from our hotel. So I feel like even though we are looking at 2 shows on that day, it wouldn't necessarily be a stress, if that makes sense.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, we might have to do that one. Good call, good sir. Good call.
Of course, that leads us to Marigold, our first Marigold show of the tour, the Stardom Cast on tour. This will be their New Year's Eve celebration in Shinjuku Face, 9:20 start time, 31st of December. They have announced that there's only going to be sort of 3 things that are going to be happening, which will be the Marigold Rumble, which they had last year, the return, as we mentioned before, of the Rookie of the Year tournament, which Minami Yuki won last year, defeating Naho Yamada in the final. We will also get the announcement and accompanying ceremony for the Marigold Year-End Award, and what I'm really intrigued by, a Mochi eating contest to bring in the new year. So if that's open to anyone, I will lay down the gauntlet to anyone in that venue. Just to give you some indication, by the way, that is 12 in the afternoon, British Standard Time, 7 Eastern Standard, and 4:20 in the morning in Pacific. But just quickly, those 4 people that have been announced for the Rookie of the Year tournament: Sari Yamaoka, Shino, Yuki Yamazaki, and Megaton. I was going to say Sari Yamaoka again. The matches haven't yet been announced. Last year, it was just 2 semifinals and a final. I imagine it's going to be the same again this year. Matt, if I may for a moment, obviously Megaton is not winning this, and whoever gets Megaton in the semifinals will be rubbing their hands together. What do you think our final is, and why do you think it's Sari Yamaoka versus Shino?
Because that's the best match to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Although Sari Yamaoka and Shino and Yuki Yamazaki just had a very good singles match that went to a TLD.
I mean, Yuka's got a lot of heat on her. I'll tell you what, Rob, and I said this last week, and I'm going to say it again. I hope they do Yuka and Megaton. That's the best pairing for Megaton.
That is the best pairing.
Really great. But I think, the 2 best wrestlers in the tournament are Sari Yamaoka and Shino. So I think that's pretty much going to be your final. I mean, we've seen upsets happen, every now and again. So, would Yuka getting into the final be a shock? A little bit, but we've seen crazier upsets before. Absolutely. So, but my guess, it's still going to be, as much as you sold me into the whole Megaton going back to back and winning 2 squashes. How funny she wins by submissions. Like she wins with
after
submissions.
All of this, just wrenches back an armbar on Sari Yamaoka, just out wrestles Sari Yamaoka and just gets the win. Imagine the scenes, good sir.
And not only that, if you remember that tag match that we reviewed last week on the Marigold Standard, where she was trying to put Shino in the sharpshooter and it was like purposely done terrible. How funny be if like she's like so seamlessly into it, like like Ken Shamrock, Frank Shamrock, like a Billy Robinson, like so seamlessly. Like, yeah, no problem. I got this. I got this. Yeah, no problem. Catch wrestling Megaton
randomly becomes Dean Malenko out of absolutely nowhere.
Just Happy New Year.
What is happening? And then runs into first dream, wins everything. The open challenge is Katsuyori Shibata, absolutely flattens him out of nowhere. No, but this is something I think we might have to get tickets for before we go. I don't know why. I've just got a vibe that this might sell out. So might be something we look at. But this is one we will almost certainly be in attendance for, Matt Turner.
Yeah, I think the general idea is once we get into town, from what I understand, pretty much every 7-Eleven you can get tickets there. So we'll probably, as soon as we get started, maybe that's what we'll do on the 28th as we're getting settled. Maybe we'll we'll go to a 7-Eleven, we'll get our tickets for this, and then probably what the next slide is going to be, Rob. I got a feeling I have an idea what the next slide or the slide after is going to be, good sir.
You are incorrect.
Well, tickets for this as well. I tell you what, I saved myself. What a shyster.
No, of course. So that show will be at 9:20 on the 31st, New Year's Day. There's 3 potential shows that happen on the 1st. I think it would be folly to try and do all 3. However, the Shinjiro Otani benefit show, which is for charity anyway. Well, all the benefits go towards Shinjiro Otani. So that in itself is a huge reason to go. And then, of course, they announced that Sapporo versus MIRAI was going to happen on this show as well. That is at Korakuen Hall at 11:30. I know they have announced the rest of the card for that. I can't remember off the top of my head what the rest of the card is, but that is something that I'd be very, very happy to go and see, Matt Turner.
Yeah, again, this one, just for the main event alone, is going to be fantastic. So it looks like 3 Korakuen Halls, Rob, at least 3 Korakuen Hall shows, potentially 4.
At least, yeah, at
potentially 4. So, that'll be nice. We'll be old hats over there. Well, hey, look at that. We'll be like the old hat guy in the ECW arena. But this is going to be great. I mean, you know what you're going to get. Hard-hitting, great, fantastic wrestling right up my alley, everybody's alley. And probably the most important thing is to benefit one of the greatest wrestlers of all time in one, Shinjiro Otani. So, excellent stuff there. And I think what a great way to ring in the new year, buddy, than Sapporo versus MIRAI.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And the more chances we get to go to Korakuen Hall, the more chances we get to try the fried chicken there, which apparently is absolutely sensational, I've heard on other podcasts. So between that and Strong Zero, I'm going to be a very, very happy little boy. Obviously, this is the thing that we were talking about earlier. Noah in Budokan. We do have a full card for that show. It's going to be, main evented by Inamura versus Ozawa for the GHC Heavyweight Championship. And with all the buzz about Ozawa, with him winning the match of the year in the Tokyo Sports Awards announced earlier this week. Literally for this match last year or this year, I'm very much looking forward to seeing him again. Hiromu Takahashi versus Amakusa for the GHC Junior Heavyweight Championship. The GHC Tag Team Championships will see Marufuji and Keno against Bushi. And a mystery teammate. They are. It's quite funny, all the posters that they've put out of the outline of Tetsuya Naito going, oh, I wonder who this could be. Obviously, it's Naito, but seeing Naito is going to be very, very exciting. We've also, and this is perhaps the biggest thing on this entire show, Matt. I mean, the rest, it's kind of like, do you know what? Nippon Budokan, whatever, fine, whatever. However, on this show, Matt Turner, we will see live and in person the human Cadillac, Dorian DeVille, in action, brother.
Absolutely. Yes, the human Cadillac, Dorian DeVille. So obviously for our people have been listening to the show the last handful of years, you guys know the joke. But for our newer listeners, I actually used to wrestle on the indies with Doc Gallows back when he was the human Cadillac, Dorian DeVille. And he had one of those. He had, now if you look at it, I think it's his right or left arm, he's got the giant sleeve. This is before he had the giant, tattoos. He has a giant like sleeve tattoo. This is when he only had a few tattoos. He had a really bad Superman tattoo with the double D's under it. So it was almost like Superman and Daredevil. Obviously, he has covered that up. But
and
yes.
rightly so.
So whenever I see him, and I've been on a couple of shows with him here or there, and he's a great guy. He was a great guy back then. I was on a couple of shows, I think in between his WWF run when he was doing the Festive stuff. A really, really great guy, a fun guy, a guy that absolutely loves the business. But yes, the Human Cadillac. Every time I see him, I just think of that. I'm like, the Human Cadillac Dorian DeVille. That is either the worst name or the best name. And 20 years later, Rob, I still don't know which one it is. It's nothing in between.
Yes, you do. You do know which is the best.
It's the best
name. If we ever have to rebrand this podcast, we will be the Human Cadillac Cast. The Human Castellac? No, it doesn't quite work. They are. Him and Carl Anderson will be against Kaito Kiyomiya and Jack Morris for in a special Invasion tag match, or so it is, and so it is labeled. A GHC National Championship match, Dragonbane versus Alpha Wolf. Now, I saw both of these wrestle as a part of the Noah and Progress tour in Manchester. They were fantastic. They were really, really good. So that is going to be really exciting. We've got an eight-person tag. Kenta, Yuruka Sasaki, Tetsuya Endo, and Hayata will be taking on High 69. Hajime Ohari, Mohamed Yona, and Atsuji Kotogi. Progress Atlas Championship, Will Cross versus Saxon Huxley. Another 8-person tag. Sorry, I had to read that. Masa Kitamaya, Takashi Sugiura, Tadasuke, and Jun Masaoka. We've then got Kazuyuki Fujita will also be on this show. Minoru Suzuki will also be in this match. Shuhei Taniguchi and Junta Miyawaki. And then we've got the GHC Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship 3-way, where we've got Dagger and Daigi Odajima versus Alejandro and Kai Fujimura, and then against the team of Aita and Shuji Kondo, who, of course, is the head coach in the Marigold Dojo. So there you are. I'll be honest, Matt, obviously I don't know a tremendous amount about Noah. However, very excited for the main event because, again, getting to see Ozawa wrestle and feel the sort of aura around him as a wrestler, I'm extremely excited for. Any chance to watch a Hiromu Takahashi singles match, I don't care how old he is, I am going to be there in spades because he's fantastic. That GHC Tag Team Championship match against Keno, Marufuji, Bushi, Naito. Hell yeah, I'm there for that, of course. And then again, that GHC National Championship match between Dragonbane and Alpha Wolf should be really, really, really tasty. If what I remember is what happens.
Yeah, I've seen a couple matches of Yoshiko Inamura here, who's the GHC champion. Great match where he won the belt against Kenta. Really impressive wrestler. And Kenta, I'm a massive fan of. I have been since the old Noah days and his time in Ring of Honor and his stuff in New Japan. So I just watched a match maybe about a month or so ago with him and Keno, where Kenta wins the belt back. And Kenta still has a ton of fire. So, like, I'm a little disappointed that he's kind of just tucked away in this show in an 8-person tag, because he's one of the very few people on this roster, on this card, that has wrestled in big time matches in this venue. So I wish they would have gave him something a little bit more, considering the fact that he still has a lot left in the gas tank. But again, sometimes I guess, the chips don't fall where they may. The one question, Rob, is I'm kind of thinking here is, and again, we kind of have to figure out the logistics. We have the Suri Mirai match. Our show is 11:30, and this is 2. Are these venues somewhat close to each other?
I believe it's a 2:00 doors. I think it's a 3:00 start.
Okay, good. So I know Amber has things mapped out. Like, it's wild, the research that she's done. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going along for the ride, buddy. I'm here for the good times and the entertainment. But yeah, she's mapped out so much stuff, and she's literally she right before we recorded, she left to go do something. She got, I'm going over my mom to do something for you and Rob, and I was like, but I'm here, and Rob's all okay, whatever. Yeah, so I'm like, I don't know. Maybe she's gonna be Kenta. I don't know. Maybe she's maybe she's getting her face tattoo like Megaton, like getting into the spirit.
Maybe she's gonna participate in the Stardom Rumble.
She's in one of the machines.
There you go, super strong amber machine.
Yeah, look out, the cooking machine. That's why.
Oh, I love it. That's amazing.
That's why I have to do all this cardio. Oh yeah, tomorrow.
There you go.
Because tomorrow is Christmas Eve, so it's Amber's doing nothing but cooking cinnamon buns. As you know, that's a thing she does. I went to go see my grandfather yesterday after the side job, and he's like, "You coming over Christmas Eve?" I said, "Yeah." Amber's cooking her cinnamon buns. He goes, that was the next question I was going to ask. Like, yeah, Grandpa, good to see you too. The only grandson that visits him at least once a week, and he's worried about what my wife's going to make him. Yeah.
You are nothing, good sir, but a cinnamon bun transport service. That is all you are, and you know it.
You know what? But I wear that hat well, good sir. I wear
Absolutely,
that hat
you
pride,
do.
with pride.
Also on this day will be the Yuki Miyazaki retirement show as well. That will be at 6 o'clock and it'll be in Korakuen Hall. The chances are I'm not even going to bother sort of going through that because I just don't think we'll have enough time. Well, we won't. We won't have enough time because even if Budokan and Korakuen Hall are right next to each other, which they're not, 3 hours, the show isn't going to be done in 3 hours.
There's 84 matches on this Budokan, but
yeah, exactly. Plus, I don't want to be rushing through it, especially as this is the only show in Budokan. Again, they could have just put out a load of 6-person tags. I don't care. It's the venue I am looking forward to going into.
Yeah, it just does look like a fun show, but for us, we talked about this both off and on air. It's Budokan Hall, like, and I know I texted you this the other day, man. When I walk in there, I look at that ceiling. Whenever they would do the All Japan back in the '90s, the All Japan TV tapings, and it would start with that ceiling and then go down the ring. Yeah, it might get a little emotional. I always call it the house that Misawa built. So many great matches. And I just didn't realize it until I just did now, Rob. I apologize. I can't help myself. Speaking of great matches, Nippon Budokan Hall, if you want to read about them, buy the book Building Blocks. My good friend Rob Goodwin. I didn't even realize I just did that.
Cheers,
I was like, it's right there. You may as well. You know, it's like when you steal the ball and it's just like, I got the slam dunk right there. I may as well go.
What a Christmas present, guys. Come on.
Yeah, absolutely. New Year's, Valentine's Day, whatever you want it to be. But I mean, the Misawa, Kawada, the Misawa Kabashi match, the Holy Demon Army versus Misawa and June and Misawa and Kabashi. All the great stuff with Dr. Death and all the chairs that Stan Hansen and Bruiser Brody have thrown, all over the building. And then even like some of the recent stuff, the big show that Stardom did there back in 2021 with Tam and Julia, hair versus hair, and Yoshiko and Mayu almost trying to kill each other. So there's so much history in the Budokan. So it's going to be a fun show. But like the main thing is like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm actually here. I've seen so much violence in this building before. If walls can talk, my friend, if walls can talk.
That's the main thing for me about this. Sort of the same thing really with how we sort of talked about our 2nd of January starting. We were going to go and see the New Year Wars show that All Japan are putting on at Korakuen Hall, the 11:30 show. It doesn't look like the greatest card in the world, and I know that fans of All Japan were very sort of meh about this show and the show at Korakuen on the 3rd as well. But in the main event, we do have World Tag Team Championship match, Zion and Odyssey against Red Ayabe and Talos as well. So there is that to look forward to. And I know that obviously I was sort of the driving force behind wanting to go and see All Japan in Korakuen Hall. If the worst comes to the worst and we didn't go and see that show, I wouldn't be devastated, especially as we will have gone and seen them at Ota Wood and actually seen a Triple Crown title defense, which is a bigger thing, obviously.
Yeah, I guess we'll see what happens, what else we have going on 1-2. So that'll be kind of a play it by ear, my friend. That'll be one that I think, no disrespect to All Japan, that I think we can get tickets day of as we're walking there. I don't think that one's going to do the Izumi Sai Kamatani numbers.
No. And can't see that really. Now, the next thing, because these were the only 2 shows that we have currently on the 2nd of January. And this one here, PPP Tokyo, the reason I've brought this up is because it's a 7 o'clock show for a start. So if we did go to the All Japan, New Japan War show, we've still got loads and loads of buckets of time in between these 2 shows. And if we don't go to that show, we've got even more time. But the reason is, A, it's Tokyo Square in Itabashi, which is another venue that will be really cool to go and see, a specifically built wrestling venue. Also, it's Mirai and Chanyota, like in a singles match. The match that we were slightly disappointed in this year's Dreamstar Grand Prix, because again, it was sort of a double count out and didn't feel like it got the right amount of time. Here, they could quite literally beat the hell out of each other for however long they wanted. It would be really, really good, this match.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this one. Again, more than likely we'll probably go to this one for a lot of different reasons, and a lot, one of them is Mirai versus Chan Yoda, and
Yep.
yeah, Tokyo Square is a really, really cool, almost like an intimate pro wrestling venue. So, yeah, I think this is one that we might have to go to, good sir.
Couldn't agree more. Could not agree more. And that brings us to possibly the two busiest days of our entire trip. And that starts on the 3rd of January. And we're going to start with Marigold's first stream, which starts at 2:30 Japanese Standard Time, Ward City Gymnasium, another different venue that we're going to go and see. Incredible, incredible card for this. Really genuinely excited for this card. Just a reminder, Miko Ano versus Mai Sakurai for the World Championship, Victoria Yuzuki versus Shoko Kishino for the United National Championship, Takumi Aroha and Mayu Iwatani. We are going to see Takumi Aroha versus Mayu Iwatani, people. This is not a drill. Darkness Revolution, Misamatsu Inchaki versus Nagisa Nozaki and Rhea Sato for the Twin Star Championships. Utami Hayashishita versus Chika Goto. Megaton versus Popular K. Imagine if it's Kano. Imagine if it's Kano or Kenta. Imagine. Imagine both.
They need
both
on
one handicap.
They need the two guys from Pro Wrestling Noah to take down the monster that is Megaton. That means
absolutely.
I just made logical sense there. What do you want?
Printing,
you know what I mean?
Printing money, good sir. Natsumi Shosuke and Koki Amare also returned from injury on this show, which is great news. They're going to team with Hummingbird against Nagisa Takiban and now Ishikawa and Minami Yuki. And then we've got the Marigold Youth match, Seriyamoka, Koko, and Shino versus Kazuna Tanaka, Yuka Yamazaki, and Kamomo Minami. Matt, we've talked about this at length on the Marigold Standard. A really exciting card. A lot to look forward to. That main event is going to be something else because Miko Ano and Mai Sakurai have legitimately tried to kill each other on a number of occasions. They've done a tremendous job of building the heat for that match. I think Shoko Kishino is going into this match as an unknown quantity. I'm intrigued to see what she can do. Of course, Victoria Yuzuki has been one of my favorite wrestlers of 2025 to watch, so I'm really excited to see her in the ring. And then, of course, man, Takumi Aroha versus Mayu Iwatani. I cannot stress that enough. We are going to see that live. That's going to be a tremendous match. But what are you most looking forward to about this Marigold show?
I mean, the whole thing, start to finish, is absolutely loaded. I think between this and Stardom Wrestle, our Dream Queen, are probably the two most loaded shows, start to finish.
Agreed.
Like, obviously, we're going to talk about the Wrestle Kingdom at the Tokyo Dome with that big main event and the big IWGP Championship match. But as far as like the most loaded cards, it's Marigold and Stardom kind of neck and neck. But yeah, I mean, we get a rematch, that we've been waiting 5 years for, Mayu versus Takumi Roha. Victoria Yuzuki and Shoko Kishino is going to be really interesting, considering, can Shoko rise up to the task? Can she? And what's Victoria Yuzuki going to do? And Miko Ano versus Mai Sakurai is going to be fantastic. Utami Hayashishita and Chika Goto can be the big breakout performance that Chika Goto absolutely needs. And it seems like that she's almost right there. Seems like every time that she's getting ready to break through to that next level, it's something, it's like, not yet, or something. It's kind of almost like not a start and stop, but like she's right there. Is this the match, win, lose, or draw, that gets her to the next level? She's in the ring with probably the most unselfish wrestler in all of wrestling with Utami Hayashishita. So this whole entire show is going to be fantastic. Really, really looking forward to this one, my friend. So again, start to finish, Marigold First Stream might be the best show this entire week.
Now, obviously, depending on when this show finishes, because we have got basically 4 hours until the afternoon show, the evening show of Stardom New Year Dream 2026. So Stardom are running a pair of shows on the 3rd of January, one in the afternoon, one in the evening. We're not going to be able to go to the afternoon show because that starts at 1:30. And obviously Marigold starts at 2:30. It's simply not going to be feasible. However, the evening show starts at 6:30 in the evening. Again, Shinjuku Face, 6 minutes from our hotel. It all depends on what time Marigold finishes and if there's anything afterwards, whether we can go to this show or not. I'd like to think that we could possibly manage it, but that, Matt, might be a little bit of a hopeless dream. I don't know.
Yeah, we're kind of Rob and I have been talking about something in the mix that we just haven't put out there yet because we might not know everything until we get there, but there might be something going on for us during first stream. So that might be literally might take up the entire time for us. So we shall see. So we don't know about, again, as Rob said, the afternoon show. Probably not going to happen. We're focusing all of our attention on first stream. There is a possibility that we see this show, maybe, maybe not. I mean, it might be a case where that once we get back from O to War, that we'll just go back to one of our respective hotel rooms, get some Sapporo beer, and then just watch these two shows back to back on a laptop or an iPad or something like that. Which, by the way, Rob, yes, go ahead. You have you're doing the whole Hogan.
No, I like that. I like that. That's a good idea, man.
But by the way, Rob, I was actually, when I found out about Starbomb versus Karate Brave, I was actually purchasing myself a Christmas gift because I got myself today a brand new iPad. So, because obviously I need the what was going on was my iPad, nothing updated over the last week or so. I can't update anything because it's like 6 or 7 years old. I'm like, I need this for Japan. So I'm like, I guess I'm glad I found out now because myself and Andy, we did a trial run whether I can record on my iPad when I'm over there. So that's a possibility I might be able to bang some content out. But Rob, we might do that. We might do that. Maybe, depending on what time we get back, maybe we'll just watch these two shows back to back and come to my room. I can go to your room. We'll get some Sapporo beers, some strong zeros, some Yoo-hoo, and watch some fantastic Stardom. We might be able to get it all in, buddy. Might be able.
Absolutely.
And the great thing is there's no line in the bathroom. Or if there is, the line's only two max. So.
That's true. I mean, to be fair, we could do it as a watch along. Get everyone involved on Patreon. Why the hell not?
Look at that. We're just coming out with so many great ideas, my friend. Look at this. Look at this. The Stardom cast is just absolute. Or I'm sorry, excuse me. The Human Cadillac cast is just absolutely
stop
you
it,
started it. You know better than to put those thoughts in my head.
You do realize if there is an option to meet Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, we are going to have to meet them and we are going to have to bring that up, right?
Yeah, not only that, but actually on that show, I've noticed that some of these Pro Wrestling Noah shows that there's meet and greets for Kenta Kobashi. That is... So I've seen videos of like these last few Noah shows of people like meeting Kobashi. It is Budokan. Wow. If it's not the house Misawa built, it's the house that, well, maybe Jumbo Saruta, but bear with me. Kenta Kobashi built, and he is like the acting president or whatever for Noah. So yeah, Rob, that's man, ooh, that'll be something. Yes, goodness gracious me, good sir. But yes, definitely the Human Cat, and I will 100% bring that up that he used to work independent shows in random towns in Pennsylvania when he was the great Human Cadillac during DeVille.
I mean, to be fair, the only time I've ever seen him wrestle was at Crystal Palace for Royal Quest 2. And the entire crowd just hijacked the event and just started chanting Festus at him for the entire show. And to be fair, he took it with remarkable grace. Though I imagine once you have been a gimmick such as Festus, it's very difficult to shake that. It was a fairly ridiculous gimmick, wasn't it? But yes, ultimately, in a nutshell, on the 3rd, our focus will be on Marigold First Dream. If we're able to see New Year Dream in the evening, amazing. Although I imagine of all the shows, that is probably going to sell out. So if we don't get to see it, agree, Matt, we'll do something. We'll do something a little bit different, I'm sure, and just get gently reeled in the hotel room and watch it. Who knows? And that, of course, brings us to the 4th of January, which will be our last day my last day in Japan anyway, which is very, very exciting. And our day starts on the 4th at 11 o'clock in Korakuen Hall for TJPW's Itenyon show in Korakuen Hall. Matt Turner, this looks like an absolute delight of a card. I'm not going to go into too much detail over this card because I know that you, Andy, and Andy, or Andy Squared, are going to be, why not, are going to be doing an in-depth preview of this show to come out a little bit later on this week. I know criminally little about TJPW, and I hold my hands up to that. I can't even remember if it was Grand Princess or Sun Princess earlier this year. I think it was Grand Princess earlier this year, and it was a good show. But that is my only real exposure of TJPW and one match between Maki Ito and Miyu Yamashita from, I believe, Grand Princess 2 or some Princess. I can't remember. It was a match from ages ago. However, there are a couple of matches on this card that really excite me. Obviously, Miyu Watanabe, whenever she's in the ring, a really, really, really must-see match. Suzumi, I don't know much about, Matt. What can you tell me about Suzumi?
Suzumi and Arisa Endo are Daisy Monkey. Now, again, I would know a little bit about Tokyo Joshi Pro. I dove in pretty heavy towards the end of the summer as part of Talk Joshi, and myself and Indiana are loving what we're seeing in Tokyo Joshi Pro. But even just kind of going back and watching matches, Suzumi and Arisa Endo are kind of almost like the FWC. Let's say Soroi the Soroi of Tokyo Joshi Pro, where they're great at, probably better as a team, but great as singles wrestlers. And considering that Suzumi's challenging for the major belt and Arisa on the show, and Arisa Endo is defending their secondary belt, the Princess of Princess Championship, against Mirai. So that is going to be a phenomenal match. But Suzumi and Arisa Endo as a tag team completely blow me away. And just when I think I've seen everything in tag team wrestling, I'm watching teams like Daisy Monkey. I'm watching teams like, and we'll get into it, the Magical Sugar Rabbits, because we're getting a little bit of a reunion of one Yuka Sakazaki and former Princess of Princess champion in Yuzuki, obviously team with Yuki Arai. I want to talk about an OP team. I'm going to get into that in a minute, but this is going to be a great match. I would not be shocked, Rob, because they're probably going to go either. What I've noticed in these TJPW shows is they'll go, the last three matches will be International Princess Champion match, Tag Team Championship match, and then the main event. This whole card is going to be really good. Those last three matches, especially the two singles championships, I mean, I think that you're going to be completely blown away. And again, I know a little bit about Tokyo Joshi Pro. I'm learning as I'm going. A lot of it is some comedy. There are some wrestlers that, and again, Rob, I'm going to say this, don't compare it to Stardom. You can't compare it to, now there are some wrestlers that if you plugged into today's Stardom, would they fit? Yes, I think a Suzumi, Arisa Endo, Shoko Nakajima, Miyu Watanabe, Miyu Yamashita, they would. But some of their young wrestlers, they're constantly getting better though. They're constantly, we've noticed over the last 4 or 5 months, like a Mifu Ishida and a Hara and a Toga, they're constantly getting better. You're going to get some wild comedy stuff, like literally to the point where it's just like, take it with a grain of salt, because then once you get to your main matches, you'll get your serious wrestling. But you're going to be blown away by Suzumi. She does a lot of different variations of the cutter, like really innovative stuff. It's called the Ring a Bell. Miyu Watanabe's terrific. I know you see Miyu Watanabe's entrance where she does the things with the hands, like where she does. So I was watching a match that she was coming out with, and I've seen a bunch of Miyu Watanabe matches, and I was on the couch and my wife came walking by and I said, this is the show. She's the champion of the promotion we're seeing before New Japan. I said, good luck trying to do the hand thing. And Rob, literally the first try she got it. And I was like, of course.
Obviously,
of course.
Standard.
Of course. But no, I'm super excited for this. And as you said, me and Andy Squared, which I will be calling because I'm recording with them in about 45 minutes. I'm going to call them Andy Squared. We'll be doing a full review and preview of this show. But I'm really looking for Miyu Watanabe and Suzumi. I think that match is really going to knock your socks off. And as well as Arisa Endo versus Mirai. Obviously, you know who Mirai is. Arisa Endo is a phenomenal, phenomenal wrestler. And then the return of one of the best teams in Tokyo Joshi Pro history, the Magical Sugar Rabbits, as Yuka Sakazaki coming back from AEW to team with Mizuki and Yuki Arai, which Yuki Arai had one of the greatest runs as International Princess Champion, to kind of take on a comedy trio of Max the Impaler, Palm Harajuku, and Riku. Now, Riku is somebody, her gimmick is she falls asleep, and Palm's gimmick is she thinks she's a 6-year-old girl. So I was like, you might, and I'm going to ask Andy this, because Andy's like, obviously knows a lot about Tokyo Joshi Pro. Why wouldn't they mix that up? Why wouldn't they put Yuki Arai on one side and then, so I'm a little confused, and I'll find out.
I think it's trying to counteract Max the Impaler because they are a
Palm,
dominant force.
Yeah, I think Riku teams with Palm. Our Riku teams with Max, and Max, I forget, but regardless, it still should be a good match. But Rob, another thing I'm super excited about, Aja Kong, Judas Priest, Electric Eye in Korakuen Hall.
Yes.
Yeah. Super excited about that. Super excited. I'm excited for the exchanges between Miyu Yamashita and J-Rod. J-Rod is a former American Gladiator. She actually challenged Miyu Watanabe for the Princess of Princess Championship a few months ago, and they had an absolute phenomenal match. Like, you have your expectations for the match, like, it'll be good. It was really, really good. And J-Rod, I did some research on J-Rod, trained at OVW, so trained by Al Snow, and spent some time at the New Japan LA dojo, so probably training like Kushida, maybe Shibata here and there. So so great background there. Really looking forward to see what her and Miyu Yamashita do in that tag match. We're really excited for the show. Really excited for this show as I'm kind of getting more inclined into the world of Tokyo Joshi Pro.
Yeah, obviously those top 3 matches are very exciting. Arisu Endo versus Mirai for the International Princess Championship. Mirai making her return to Tokyo Joshi Pro. You've obviously got the Princess Tag Team Championships on the line as well, with Yuki Kamifuku and Wakana Uehara against Haru Kazushiro and Yuki Aino. And then obviously that main event as well, Miyu Watanabe versus Suzumi. And Matt, obviously Andy Hedder's favorite wrestler, Shoko Nakajima, taking on Hyper Misao in singles action as well. A lot to look forward to.
Yeah, and what they do on these 1-4 shows, and this is very smart from Tokyo Joshi Pro. They always book Cork and Hall on the same day as the Tokyo Dome because they get influx of people. It's like almost like your appetizer for Wrestle Kingdom. So I think this is the 3rd or 4th year in a row that they're running Shoko Nakajima versus Hyper Misao, and they're tag partners. And I don't know what they get, and I'll find out when we record it why they do it every year. And it's booked a year in advance, like Rock and Cena a handful of years ago. It's booked a year. Is it booked a year in advance?
And it's as big. It's bigger.
Yeah, that's what it is. And then the tag teams, Rob, the champions, their names are Ober Eats, and the challengers are called Prism Greed. Yes, they have some really cool names. Prism Greed. So
Prism Greed is a great name.
Yeah, Prism. Yeah. So not only that, Rob, and I'm not going to tell Amber this until that she comes out, but Yuki Aino, who's fantastic. Andy Hedder has dubbed her Strawberry Tam, and now I can't unsee it. I can't. Every time she comes out, she looks like she looks like Strawberry. I was like, he said, and I was like, what? And then I was like, I think he has. So every time now that she's on a match, and she's great, and she's another one that was always like really good, and she's consistently getting better to the point where she's dabbled in the main event. So yes, we'll get to see Strawberry Tam live, and I will not say a word to my wife until she comes out. Like, that's Strawberry Tam. Instantly, the person that she will dislike the most in Tokyo Joshi Pro.
I must admit, obviously, I'll sort of bring this all to a close by saying I know absolutely nothing about Tokyo Joshi Pro, but the bare minimum. And I must admit, this is one of the shows, if not sort of the sleeper hit for me. I am really looking forward to this show. And I don't know whether it's just because it is building my anticipation. It's going to be a great day this straight into Wrestle Kingdom with a British pub in between, or if it's just because obviously there's some absolutely cracking matches on here. Again, those top 3 look fantastic. I'm looking forward to seeing what J-Rod can do. Anytime I can hear Judas Priest in any sort of venue, never mind the historic hall of Korakuen, I'm very much looking forward to as well. Is this the most exciting Korakuen Hall show for you by any chance?
Of the ones we're going to? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I'm excited to see, because not only that, but we tried to see Tokyo Joshi Pro WrestleMania weekend in Philly last year in Vegas, and it just didn't line up with our schedule. So now that I know more about Tokyo Joshi Pro, yeah, this is probably, as far as start to finish goes, this is right underneath Dream Queendom and First Dream as far as stack shows go. So I'm excited. I'm excited to hear Miyu Watanabe. When the Up Girls, they always come out with the Up Girls is Miyu Watanabe, Shino Suzuki, Uda and Riku. They come out and they always do a song. So I cannot wait. But when I lean over to Amber, it'd be like second best idol group in Japan.
He brings Meltier with him out of his hand luggage. Yeah, very much looking forward to this. I would go as far as to say, aside from obviously those top 2 matches at Wrestle Kingdom and Siren Shuri, I think I'm looking forward to this card more than I'm looking forward to Wrestle Kingdom, which is quite the thing to say, because obviously that's what we're talking about next. Wrestle Kingdom, the final venue to tick off our bucket list, the Tokyo Dome, January 4th, bell time, 4 o'clock. And it's a shortened card. Gone are the 11, 12, 13 match cards, which I think will be something of a blessing looking at it because, again, you can get a lot of fatigue in an audience if a show goes for a ridiculous amount of time. Obviously, a lot of this show, with it being Tanahashi's retirement, is being broadcast on television. So that, I imagine, has had something to do with the shortened amount of matches. I still find it bizarre that there's so many talents that aren't in prominent positions on this card, but that's by the by, because the main thing for me, Hiroshi Tanahashi's retirement against Kazuchika Okada one final time. Takeshita and Yota Tsuji is going to be fantastic. And then, of course, the IWGP Women's and New Japan Strong Women's Double Championship match between Syuri and Saya Kamatani as well. Those three matches alone, and I'd have gone to the Tokyo Dome. The rest of it is sort of incidental, if I'm perfectly honest. Obviously, I know there's a lot of buzz about Aaron Wolf and his debut against Evil. I mean, the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship #1 contendership. I can take or leave, but why the title isn't on there, I've got no idea. We obviously have got the return of Hanare, which I'm very excited for. We've got 2 surprise entrants in that match. And then, of course, we've got the openweight gauntlet as well, or the openweight 6-man gauntlet, should I say. It's all about those 2 matches, though. Syuri and Sayama, and Tana and Okada.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be excellent. I mean, yeah, Wrestle Kingdom, 51,000 tickets are sold. They sold out the Tokyo Dome. It's the highest attended Wrestle Kingdom since they rebranded the 1-4 shows to Wrestle Kingdom. And in my opinion, Okada and Tanahashi is the greatest rivalry / feud in the history of wrestling. I like it better than Flair and Steamboat. I like it better than Misawa versus Kawada, Misawa versus Kobashi. They're all up there. Piper Hogan. There's some great Midnights versus Rock and Rolls. I mean, there's Nigel versus Danielson. I can go on. Io and Mayu, Saya and Tam. There's great rivalry. But in my opinion, this is the greatest one because they help change basically the course of direction of professional wrestling in the country of Japan. And those matches have been so great. And with the fact we get it one more time on Tana, it's like the perfect storm. It's like you're getting Okada versus Tanahashi one more time in a sold-out Wrestle Kingdom in the Tokyo Dome on Tanahashi's last match. This will be their 4th match at Wrestle Kingdom. They did 7, 9, and 10, with Tanahashi winning 7, 9, and Okada winning 10. So, does Okada tie it up? I think so. I think we've seen Tanahashi lose quite a bit of matches over the last 2 years. I think Okada goes over, but at the same time, once he rolls out of the ring, it's going to be all about Tanahashi and that retirement. And obviously a shortened card. I know they said that they're trying to get as much stuff on TV as possible. I know some people are now worried, but that they're kind of the reason why the small card is they want to get majority of this show about Tanahashi's retirement. So not a lot of people are very, very concerned about the time that Sai and Shuri may or may not get, Rob. But the way that I look at it, my wrestling brain is, if you're on like first or second, you get the majority amount of time. I can't tell you how many times I wrestle after intermission. We're like, yeah, Matt, you're supposed to go 15, but because everybody ran late, can you go 10? Can you go 8? And then as I get in the ring, they're like, we need you to go 5. I'm like, I just had 15 minutes. Now I got to bring it down to 5. At least with Sai and Shuri going on early, maybe that's just like, hey, we know that's an important match. If we need to cut time, we can cut time in some of these random Rambo matches or something's here or there. So again, I'm still holding on to faith that Shuri and Sai get time. If not, oof. I don't know. But anywho, really looking forward to this. I think Yota Tsuji and Takeshi is going to be terrific. But for me, it's all about Tanahashi versus Okada. We get to say goodbye to the ace. The match that I almost got to see in Madison Square Garden, because that was the plan until they pivoted to Jay White and Okada. But Shuri versus Saya Kamatani, in the Tokyo Dome, that's those 2 entrances, man. It's gonna be a time, my man. It's gonna be a time.
Yeah, I think the thing that sort of, we discussed this last week. I think the thing that makes me think they're not just going to give them an arbitrary 9 minutes is that they announced Saya Kamatani on her own at a press conference that she would be appearing on this show. You don't do that and then give that person 6 minutes. I think
you shouldn't.
Well, you shouldn't. No, you shouldn't. But the reach that Saya Kamatani has with obviously her TV appearances, being a part of the first female match to take part on terrestrial television in 23 years to, winning, being the first woman ever, 54 years, to win the the Tokyo Sports MVP prize. I don't think you would put her on second on the card. It was already a crap spot. Let's be honest. It's the death spot. It is notoriously known as such. Why that isn't just first on the card and they put the gauntlet afterwards is puzzling. But anyway, that's by the by. I don't think you only give her, a 6, 7, 8 minutes. I think this goes 13 minimum. I would argue it will probably get between 13 and 16 minutes.
Robert, before we close out chat, and I've actually been meaning to ask you this, whether it's Marigold Standard or Stardom Cast, but I figured this is the perfect podcast to ask. Obviously, no wrong answer.
Yeah.
Give me a show, a venue, and a match. What is the match you're looking forward to the most? What is a venue you're looking forward to going the most? What is the show you're looking forward to go to the most? And the great thing is, Rob, I know you're going to pick one, but the fact that we're going to all of them, it's just like, man, I have to pick one. Well, at least for now, but guess what? We're going to be at all of them. So that's the good thing. I'm just curious. I'm still trying to figure, I still don't know my answer. I know you're going to lobby back to me. I still don't know my answer. I'm curious. Like, what is the one match? What is the one venue? What is the one show you're looking forward to the most over at our first trip over in Japan?
I'm going to put Tanahashi and Okada on sort of a level above. That goes without saying. Watching the man who single-handedly dragged New Japan from the brink of obscurity to, where it was. If you look at where it was in 2017, 2018, 2019, seemed like the biggest company in the world. To see his retirement and how special and be a part of that is going to be, I can't put that into words, how special that is going to be. So that I feel like is sort of ascends above the rest. In terms of a match I'm looking forward to, I mean, I could literally pick anything, but the fact that I'm seeing Mayu versus Takumi Iroha is going to be very, very, very exciting. There's a couple on that card that I could pick. Obviously, Saya Kamatani and Sioriano is going to be very special. But for me, in terms of match, Mayu Iwatani versus Takumi Iroha. Watching a big Mayu Iwatani match, I know that we've both seen her wrestle live a couple of times, but to watch a big match Mayu is such a different beast to 6-woman tag Mayu or house show Mayu. So I'm looking forward to seeing that and actually watching a big match involving my favorite wrestler. Venue's a trickier one because it's between two, and I imagine it's the same two that you have as well.
I have three, and I still can't figure it out. But go ahead, good sir.
I mean, it's between Nippon Budokan and Korakuen Hall, and I imagine Sumo Hall is the other one for you as well.
Oh, geez, I didn't even know I had Korakuen. Now I got 4. Oh my goodness!
Oh, there you go.
Or not Korakuen, the Tokyo Dome.
Oh well, yes, of course. For me, it is for the history, and especially having, again, weird plug, having done the books and everything recently.
Good job.
Like the amount of matches that I've watched in Budokan, the amount of history, dating back all the way through to all the way from the 70s, all the way through into the 90s and that golden period of All Japan. Being able to stand in that venue and go, this happened here. This is incredible. Pardon me, irrelevant of what the wrestling is like. Just to be there is incredibly special. Korakuen Hall is, it's Korakuen Hall, man. It's literally the venue in Japan. So much history has been made in that venue. Yeah. Do you know what? I'm gonna put those two. I know it is cheating, but I'm going to put those two together. Nippon Budokan and Korakuen Hall are my two venues. And then was it show?
Yes, sir.
I will just say that I think that Marigold New Year's Eve show is going to be a lot of fun. It's not necessarily the show I'm most looking forward to, but it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun, I imagine. So I'm looking forward to that. It's between Dream Queendom and First Dream, I think. I think First Dream, I'm going to say Dream Queendom. And the reason I'm going to say Dream Queendom is because, Stardom was what started all of this off for us. And to see that big show in an iconic venue like Ryogoku, no disrespect at all, obviously, to Ota Ward, but Ryogoku is, again, a historic wrestling venue. To be able to witness Stardom at the height of its powers as well is also a big thing. Obviously, potentially seeing Saya Kamatani retain, obviously seeing Sayarida in her first big championship match as well. There's lots and lots to be excited about that show. It'll be the first wrestling show we watch while we're there. But as I've just said, that Tokyo Joshi Pro show is right up there. Considering I know very little about Tokyo Joshi Pro, I am very excited for that show. But yeah, so I'm going for match Mayu and Takumi. Venue, I've cheated and I've done Budokan and Korakuen. And show, I'm going to go Dream Queendom. Again, Tanahashi and Okada is above it all.
Yeah, I'm gonna steal what you did and take Tanahashi and Okada and kind of put it in its own bubble. I got a feeling though you're gonna ask a lot of questions about Tokyo Joshi Pro when we get done. So I have a podcast that you can listen
to. Such a plug, I love it.
I didn't even mean to do that. And at the end of it, you'll find out who has the best hair, which is always the most important,
obviously,
and the best outfits. But kind of answer my own question, and I was saying this. I was watching something from Budokan Hall on TV. I think it was watching a Masao match, and I was telling Amber, I said, "This is the venue I'm looking forward to going the most." She goes, "Really? Over the Tokyo Dome?" She goes, "Would be the." I said, "Honestly, I said even maybe Korakuen because of all the great Stardom stuff." As you said, Robin, I didn't even realize until you said it. This is what started. It wasn't for Stardom. There wouldn't be a Stardom cast. Me and you would have never met and have this amazing love affair that me and you have, my friend, not only for each other, but for
wrestling. You're a beautiful man, man. What can I say?
You too, buddy. We had the Philly meetup, Vegas. We got Tokyo, more than likely England, more than likely.
That is a good point. That is a good point. Kirsty is very, very much looking forward to London. She wants this to happen, I think, more than I do. So just bear that in mind. Don't break this girl's heart.
More than likely, depending on when Stardom decides to run the Tokyo Dome, which I think will be end of 2026, 2027.
Well,
another day. Go ahead,
I was going to say, and again, I apologize for interrupting.
Please.
I did say to Kirsty, this will probably be the only time I go to Japan. However, I did caveat it by saying if they announce they are running the Tokyo Dome at Dream Queendom, which I think is a 55-45 possibility, then I want to go for Stardom in the Tokyo Dome. Yeah, that's my one caveat. It's so expensive to go to Japan. And, not necessarily when you're there. The tickets are very reasonably priced. But the flights and everything to do with that is just so hellishly expensive that, short of Stardom running the Tokyo Dome, I don't think I will go again. However, everything has fallen into place so perfectly on this week that, again, it's that I think it's a 55-45 that they could announce a Tokyo Dome show at Dream Queendom.
Yeah, I think that maybe 2027. Maybe that's when they do it to give it like a year build. But anywho, so I would go again. I would say with the venues, just because I love the Tokyo Dome, but there's only like one, maybe two shows a year that run there. With Korakuen, it seems like every week we're reviewing something, whether it's Tokyo Joshi Pro or whether it's Stardom or Marigold. So, I mean, there's a lot more, to that with Korakuen Hall. But for me, man, I think I'm going to turn right back into that 16, 17-year-old kid when I walk into Nippon Budokan Hall. Yep. And I'm like, oh my God, who's this Masao? And this is what got me into the tape trading. Yes, tape trading, not DVDs, folks. VHS with the tracking, and you got to wait 3 weeks to watch Masao versus Kawada, and you can barely see it because the lines are all blurred, but you don't care because you're so excited. It's going to take me back to that 16, 17-year-old, 18-year-old kid. I remember when I was 18, that's when it was like, this is what I want to do. I want to do something with professional wrestling in Japan, and because of that building with Nippon Budokan. But they're all right there, Sumo Hall right there, but I would say Nippon Budokan. As far as match goes, like my top two, they're the two big Sai Kamatani matches. I think Sai and Shuri, because that's the match we've been waiting for 4 years, and it's in the Tokyo Dome. Now, if it gets 6 minutes, I will be crushed, Rob. But I think
Sai ruined your entire experience.
Oh, I'll probably eventually get over it in like 10 minutes because that's the I try to be that way, but I'm like, but I'm gonna say Sai and Sherry is probably the match I'm looking forward to the most. Again, the fact that they're doing it in the Tokyo Dome and all this build with Saya and Shuri as well. But Sai Kamatani and Soria New is right there as well. That might be the best bell to bell match we see all week, which is saying something because we know that those two are going to put on an absolute instant classic. As far as show goes, it was First Dream up until they announced Starbomb versus Karate Brave.
Well, you told me just how excited you were when that got announced. So
yeah, and I told you where I found the news. I found the news on the Stardom cast. Yeah, I was literally buying my Christmas present, my new iPad. The lady's like, "I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get it." I'm like, "Okay, great." And then my phone started buzzing off, and I was like, the Stardom cast, First Dream, everything's announced." And I was like, "Oh my God, they announced." Because I'm like, it might be just a bunch of random tag matches. So like, wow, Starbomb versus Karate Brave. So I would say, I mean, they're neck and neck, but the fact that you're going to get Azumi, Starlight Kid versus Tomoka Shuri, plus everything else on that match with Serene, Natsupoi, Soriano versus Sai Kamatani, of course, Saida Konami. So I'm going to say, and it's Dream Queendom. I mean, Dream Queendom is literally when I first came on the Stardom cast, it was about 5-6 weeks before the very first Dream Queendom. And every Dream Queendom, whether it was the first one in 2021 or the one that happened last year, they're all phenomenal must-see shows with the best matches you'll see all year are on that show. So I'm going to go with Dream Queendom is the show I'm looking forward to the most. Good sir.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings us to an end of the podcast. Obviously, as Matt has already mentioned, it will be the last time that we record live in our own sort of studios until after Japan, really. I imagine there will be some sort of content whilst we are out there. But again, we can't say anything until we're there. We're hoping to get some stuff while we're out there, and hopefully we'll be able to release that once we get back. I know that Matt has recorded about 45 hours worth of bonus content, so that will all come out to you over the course of Patreon and over the course of that 10 days that we are out in Japan. Thank you again, Andy Hedder, for being just an absolute hero of a man. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for making this year absolutely tremendous, and we've thoroughly enjoyed everything that we've done. And again, we hope you have too. Thank you for listening. If you haven't already subscribed to the podcast, we'd love for you to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a review and a 5-star. Leave us a comment and a 5-star review if you think that we've deserved it. That really helps us out as well. It helps us be exposed to more people as well. If you like all of your episodes without the ads, then you can check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/the Stardom Cast, where you can get ad-free episodes for as little as $1 a month, as well as a whole host of bonus content as well as all of our show reviews, show previews. The Dream Queendom and the First Dream preview will be up on our Patreon for absolutely free, no sign up needed. That'll be up on the site before we go to Japan. So again, that's something to look for certainly. And then yes, fans on social media at the Stardom Cast, unless of course it is Blue Sky, Instagram, or Threads, in which case we are Talk Joshi. You can find me on Twitter at Real Rob Goodwin, Mr. Matt Turner, as high as off, good sir.
Folks, first of all, obviously, thank you guys for the support you've given us throughout the years. It's really cool, these little meetups we get to do. Philly was great. We got our faces on beer. So thanks to
we did.
That was really cool. Vegas was great. We got to meet Kyrie and EO and just have a really, really great time and drink pina coladas in 100-degree heat in Las Vegas. So, but this might be the coolest of them all, folks. This is why we want to do this. For me, this has been a big goal and dream of mine since I was 18. 43. This has been a 25-year odyssey for me, and it doesn't happen without you. So I really, bottom of my heart, this means a lot to me. I greatly appreciate it. And most importantly, folks, have a wonderful Christmas, because that,
absolutely,
Rob, I know we have so much going on. Chris, we don't forget about Christmas.
Still got Christmas.
Yeah, I know, the birth and savior of our Lord Jesus Christ. Don't forget about that. But I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas, safe travels wherever you're going, folks. Questions, comments, suggestions. If you're going to be in Japan, want to meet up, just get a hold of me. I'm easy to get a hold of. Matt Turner OF on the Instagram and the Twitter is the easiest, fast, and the best way to get a hold of me. Or you can shoot me an email. The email address is thestardomcast stardom22@gmail.com. Folks, that's going to wrap it up for this bonus episode of the Stardom Cast. We greatly appreciate your support. Can't do without you. It's like I always say, it's just not my podcast. It's our podcast. Because we're all together and everybody's different. Everybody's special.